gonna be super long. Anyway, this is the Magicka Warden, and this is a healer. Support build slash not healer. It's not just like a whole block healer. The Warden's a fun healer. I'll say that. I find it a lot more interesting gameplay than when I've healed on Magicka Templar. Magicka Templar are more just like burst healing a lot, constantly, and then ulting in between. The difference in this build and play style is you're ulting a lot more. Well, I should say a lot more than that build. It really depends how you build, but ultimately, this build is geared towards ulting a lot, and you're going to use that as a means to healing, and other healing will supplement, and the other stuff on bar is kind of utility, survival, sustain, and disable. So I must warn you, this is very micro intensive. Like, you have to click a lot of buttons. It's just maybe because it's a new class, takes getting used to, but it's not like I've run a very similar style on the Magicka Templar I did to this. And that one was more of a healer than this is. The reason I say that is all he really did is, like, he threw shards and stuff too, but all he really did was vamp drain. I have vamp drain, but I also have root here, and I try to use that actively. The root's kind of finicky to learn too, but let's jump right into it, shall we? So 5-piece Tavas. I'm using 5 heavy, by the way. I'm 5-1-1. So 5 heavy, 1 light, 1 medium. So we have 5 Tavas. We're doing 4 Tavas on the body. Okay, these 4 pieces. And then we have 1 shield. So that's our 5-piece Tavas, only on the front bar. Then I have dragon. We got boots, 3 jewelry, and a back bar staff. Staff on the back bar, I have defending. Front bar weapon, I have decisive. I do recommend that, decisive. It's nice. You're gonna get a lot more out of that, especially for this build. Basically, the way decisive works is it has a chance to proc anytime ult is generated. You have a lot of means to generating ult here. I'll explain what I mean by that. Last 2 is blood spawn. So you have major heroism generating ult in this build. You have Tavas generating ult. You have blood spawn generating ult. You have your normal in combat attacks generating ult. You have vamp drain generating ult. Every time one of those is ticking, decisive has a chance to proc and add on another ult per tick. It's not like a chance to add a tick per second or 1 ult per second. So that's what that means. I didn't know until I tested it a little more. Anyway, the dragon jewelry, 3 Magicka recovery. I debated putting on some stamina recovery here in one. After getting used to this build, I didn't feel I needed to. So you get a little stam recovery. You get 1 in here from Tavas. You get 1 from blood spawn. You have a lot of Magicka recovery going on here, though. And this is really made for BGs, and it survives just fine there. I do have a poison on the back bar. It's whatever, you can put a poison, you don't have to. I don't get a lot of action out of that, but it's there. So that's kind of the equipment. So again, this is all about generating ult, cheaper ults with dragon. The way this is set up is I have dragon on front bar and I have dragon on back bar. What I'm gonna play to do is mostly use rest ult. That's kind of my go-to. The other ult I have is Enchanted Forest. This is kind of like, oh shit. Rest ult's not up yet because it costs 85 ult with dragon, and this one only costs 64 with dragon. Not to mention, if I have an oh shit moment, it means I can heal someone who's below half. And if you do that, gain 20 ultimate. So it kicks you right back up and is still building your ult. So that's kind of my ult layout. I'm mostly rest ulting. It allows people to be on the move. This pairs well with like a stam guy. Should have turned that off. I forgot. World to Walk, thank you for the sub. Welcome in here, man. Let's bring in some biceps. Appreciate the sub. Before I lose my train of thought. So let me start with the front bar. This is your heel, mainly. I'll be honest. You're generating a lot of volt. Your main heel is really rotating a lot of volts. Your Enchanted Growth is your primary heal, per se, though. But, like, you'll see I have limited use out of this. It's usually, like, really in shitty places. I pop a few of these. And then that's because my ult's not up yet. There's a certain play style to this, which once I learned how to deal with more, I learned how to not have to worry about healing so much. What I mean is, if, like, your teammate's getting chased and he's getting pounded by a melee, you can hit him with the heal, but then you can immediately hit the guy chasing with a drain and stun him, run through the guy, and root him, right? And it pulls the target off, which means you don't have to heal the guy if he's not taking that damage. That kind of stuff helps, rather than just sit there and go heal, 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 heal. You're actually pulling off the damage incoming and still healing them up in between. But anyway, let me get the skills out of the way before we explain some of that. Enchanted Growth heal also gives people regen, so it's pretty cool. Invigorating Drain drains the target, stuns them, gives you ultimate every 5 seconds. Huge ult gain off this. Try to run this as much as possible. And this is from this build really lends off my Dragon Disruptor, if you're familiar with that, the Stamsork build. Deceptive Predator. So this gives you move speed. This is up for 10 seconds, and it covers major endurance, which is kind of important because I use pots that don't give me major endurance, since I have major endurance here, and I do care about that because I do have stam regen I care about. It also gives me major expedition. It also gives me minor evasion. I stack minor evasion with major evasion because we have shuffle back here. That's for Tavas. It's 20% evasion. Tavas is proccing. That's what we want. We want the ult gen. Gripping Shards is the root. It also slows people in the area. This also ties in to a skill here, which we'll get to in a second, but it does a root in the area, and it puts down some damage over time there. 12 seconds that lasts. That'll be important as well in some ways. Shimmering Shield. You can kind of think of this like DK Wings. It's going to absorb 3 projectiles. It restores Magicka when it does absorb, but the big thing is once you get a successful absorb, you get major heroism. So this is huge. You wanna get this thing popped up when you're taking damage. You want to get in people's faces and get this going, because that's going to bring in ult. Only lasts 6 seconds though, so that's why it's front barred. And I front barred the stun and the root because I kind of combine those. I front bar the heal for obvious reasons. And Deceptive Predator, only 10 seconds, so I moved it up front, and I put Blue Betty on the back bar because this lasts 25 seconds. Blue Betty is pretty much just going to be your buff for major sorcery. What's also important about Animal Companion is you get 12% Magicka and Stam recovery if you have an ability slotted from Animal Companion, so I have 1 on each bar. That is important to me. I have a lot of Magicka and Stam recovery percents. I have that. I have Vampire. I keep minor intellect, minor endurance up for 10%. I get major endurance from this. I'm going to get major intellect from my pot. So I have a lot of ways to amp my Magicka and Stam regen. That shows in the build. Here's Shuffle, self-explanatory, I think. It gives you evasion, 15% major evasion. You can also use this to get rid of roots. Yeah. Sometimes you just eat the root and just chill out and let them damage you and put up stuff like Shimmering Shield and you generate an ult. Ice Fortress. This gives armor to you. Gives it to other people too. This is really useful for certain classes in your group. Also gives you minor protection. 24 seconds of minor protection. Unbelievable. Awesome. Great buff. Gotta have it. And then lastly, Leeching Vines is kind of my other supplementary heal. I tried Mutagen. I tried some other stuff. Lotus Blossom's a really cool skill too. But ultimately, I like Leeching Vines because it's only lasts 10 seconds, but it's kind of fire and forget. You're going into the fight, you throw it up, And what it does is I can throw it on myself, which I end up doing a lot once I'm pressured, but I just throw it out on somebody, and every time they're hit, it's like a small little heal. It's like a baby crit surge proc kind of going on is kind of how I try to put it. But it has minor lifesteal to people. It'll apply that to people hitting in the area. This kind of to proc minor lifesteal though, you have to do damage. You can get that heal every 1 second. That's part of where gripping shards comes into play. If I'm getting hit by a bunch of people and I have leeching vines up, then I'm getting healed every second by that, and then this ice is gonna tick every second and heal me for the minor lifesteal. So it's just like general hot healing. And then Lights Champion back here. So that's kind of a rundown of it. Yeah, this again, the way this plays, I guess, is heavy ult gen. Is really the main focus for healing and both locking targets up so that you don't have to heal so much. You wanna get in their face and create pressure. And people that try to commit to you, they're gonna waste their time once you get down cycling your buffs. I think it's the most important thing. I put this build together and went and ran it, and the first few times it wasn't so great, and it was just because I wasn't keeping things up. Like, this is really intensive. Like, you have a lot of buffs here that have to be up. Did I even mention? I don't even remember mentioning Corrupting Pollen. This one's really important, obviously. This is a debuff. This is your major defile. You're throwing this down in an area. People can pop the synergy to heal themselves. That's important. And obviously the debuff is important. But also this is going to go off, and this lasts 6 seconds too. So, like, popping this down and fighting in here is going to be important. And you're going to want to keep bringing that back up. That pollen. You want to keep that down in an area you're fighting at. If you're chasing like onesie twosies and they're all over the place, not a big deal. If they start kiting around a tree though, some guy's kiting around the tree, throw the pollen around the tree, get around, hit him with the root, and stun him, stuff like that. It's really what I do. It's a lot of setting up targets for my team, keeping them alive, bracing the any kind of burst, like people that come at you with heavy procs. You'll be able to live through that. Any kind of proc opening or Nightblade with procs, you'll live through that. The enchants are all try enchants. I have all points into Magicka. It's really the fact that I have try enchants across the board. Argonian, by the way, amazing. Run it. And then over here you have healthy because you're running dragon jewelry. So they're the things that really add up and pay off there. Some of the pots I use. These are the ones I mainly use, and it's kind of weird. But and I'm not 100% set on this, but you can try what you want. And I'll kind of explain why. Like, my heals were light. I have nothing invested really in spell power. My max magic is really not that high. My regen is pretty steady though. This is where, again, this is how I get my major intellect. And I like the immovable, especially in no CP. It's just like being CC just drains your stamina. And by the way, when you're playing this and you're getting in people's faces, keep your stamina up. Just heavy attack with your sword and board in between. Anytime it's like below half. Because you can afford to just be tanky. You're up in their face anyway. You're like rooting. You drop a root. Heavy attack into drain. Keep your stamina up with heavy attacks on the sword and board. Like, don't be afraid to do that. You have good stam regen too, but keep your stam up and you won't have an issue. But again, part of this is running immovables to help manage your stam, and so you don't get disabled at the wrong time when you need to ult. So long as you're up and you have stamina and you can build ult, you just keep going and going, and you can just loop around stuff, stay alive, and set targets up, drain people's resources just by rooting them, stunning them, putting them in a major defile. Your teammates just come in and they swipe them out. But yeah, anyway, again, with these pots, I was using Major Prophecy. The only other way I'd get it is Lotus. I didn't want to have Lotus on, and I had Magicka regen as my Mundus, but I didn't really need it. Like, I had so much Magicka regen. I felt it was overkill. So basically, since I have low spell power, I throw in Thief. I use Magicka crit, and it brings my my crit up more. So basically, when I'm throwing out heals, I'm eventually gonna crit. If I drop the rest ult or the tree ult, maybe the first one or second one, but like shit's gonna crit and it's gonna bring people up. So if they're really taking heat and they're getting hit with my heals, they're eventually gonna get filled up. So that's kind of the idea there. If you don't want to run that, that's fine. You can run whatever you want. A lot of people run tri-pots or whatever. The other pots I have, once I'm engaged in the fight and I really need a burst heal, this is my emergency one. Health, Magicka, a movable. And you still get stam when you pop a pot with Argonian, because that's just how Argonian works. So I can still get stam back, right? You're still getting stam here. It's really just it's the fact that I still already have major endurance here and minor endurance. Like I'm good on that stuff, and I don't care about my health regen because I'm a vampire. It's already screwed as it is. So we don't have to worry about that. The general playstyle, I guess, though, like I would take a look, honestly, some of the past streams I do with this, if you really want to see how it operates, because I'm just clicking all over the place. Like there's a lot going on with this build. Like this is not something you walk into immediately and you're gonna be able to handle. It's the new class too, so it takes a little getting used to. I'm gonna queue up and see if I can play one of my last fights here that we just did, and just kind of point out, I guess, some of the things I'm doing, or actually, you know what? I think I have a fight from. Let's check this up. See if this is a good one. And you know, this is just some buddies I think I queued with. I don't really know how this match goes, but I can at least talk to you about what's going on and, you know, in general what I'm trying to do and accomplish with the class. So just to show you, I guess generally the motions I go through in a fight. So let's see what this is. I don't even, pretty sure we didn't even win this, but again, I just kind of want to talk over some of the combat, because it's really, can be really quick pace, I guess. All right, these guys got buff. I'll tell you how the start of this fight goes. Everyone dies, I'm sure. So let's their team actually not die. They came in with double damage buff. They actually didn't kill. So I popped rest ult right at the beginning because I saw they were coming in there. The whole team has double damage on us. How they're not one-shotting us is pretty amazing. There they go. They instantly killed him. I can't keep people alive. I already rest ulted again. So right there, I dropped like a corrupting pollen on this corner. My ult's out because I just used it. So you're going to see me go through the cycle of really putting up my shimmering shield, locking down. Like, if people are beating on you, you want to root them and get them off you if you need to. Like, healing is not the only way on this. And the reason I didn't put misform in this build is because I want to focus on actually generating ult as quickly as I can. And if I'm just misforming around, I might as well be one of the Magicka Templar jerk-offs that just puts on, like, fucking reactive and pirate skeleton and pops sword and board ults. It's like, yeah, you can go overboard on defensive, but there's a certain trade-off between how close can I, how risky can I play to try to add some value to the team, right? When you go way defensive, it's just like, all right, yeah, you're a fortress, but, you know, what all are you doing in that position, you know? Yeah, you can heal. Yeah, no one's going to kill you, and they're just not going to target you, and they're going to kill someone else, and you're not really adding value at a certain point. So that's kind of my mindset when building a support build. But anyway, yeah, so I don't have misform here. I used it in open world, though. In open world, when I had 30 people chasing me and I couldn't control my character anymore, I did pop it on there a little bit. So that's an option. I put it in place of leeching vines, actually. But anyway, to get back to this, So yeah, they're coming in. I'm healing debuff. You'll see my resources are pretty empty. My pot's not coming up. But, like, just take a look at my ult, I guess. Yeah, just got a blood spawn proc there, it looks like. I use the tree ult. I'm immediately free 20 ult there. Right now I'm just getting buffs back up, bringing in a heavy attack. Like, I regenerate pretty well in this build, though. Like, if people try to kill me, I'll waste their time for the most part. It's once you get it down pat, it takes a lot. Like, that guy came in open with burst. I resto ulted and I healed up. Like, you don't need amazing spell damage or max Magicka to heal. It's kind of one of the things that seems silly to me. Like, you don't. I invest nothing in my spell damage or max Magicka, except the fact that I put 64 points into it. But, like, I'm in full heavy and whatever, and I'm healing like a champion. And it's kind of strange how the game works like that, where healing can be so effective without investing in it. Like, if I made a build with 3 healthy rings, necklace with 3 stam regen enchants, I would not be able to do the same damage per se as the amount of healing I can do, as you see. The only time you really need to invest spell damage and stuff is if you want to be like a Magplar that heals and damages, which is very effective in BGs, by the way. It is a good build, but that's not what we're doing here. This is so anyway, we're going over here. I think I wanted to get the sigil so no one else gets it. My team's asleep at the wheel. So there you go. I picked up the sigil. Resto ult. There's, again, the corrupting blossom. I don't even know the names. Pollen. That's what's popping out there. You'll see I'm keeping leeching vines up. Like, what I'm doing is I'm just getting in the face of people, though. Anyone I see moving around, especially you see light armor people, they're like that guy in the background. I want to get over and drain him and root him, because he's in light armor and he doesn't have the stamina to take that kind of abuse. You see how I ran past him? I'll tell you, the root on this class is majorly fucked up. Like, it's not like Talons. Or unless Talons was changed too, you actually have to, like, kind of run past the target to cast it. The casting location of that root is kind of wonky. It'll take some practice. Like, if you run towards a guy and you're just arriving and you cast the root and he should be in range, you're not. You got to run past him a little, and the range on it's kind of goofy. So it'll take a little playing, getting used to the root. But once you drill those roots, you see I stun him again, I root him again. I'm just trying to. There's, heavy attack sorting board to get my stam back. I rooted him again. There's another stun. He negated. Just good on him. I'm going to resto ult my guy just because he's standing in the negate, and I don't know if he can get out. And I can build ults quick. Like, don't be afraid to rest ult. If you see burst potentially coming, just rest ult and build a new one. Like, look how quick it's already up. It's at 63, 66. I dropped the tree ult. It's already at 26. I dropped the pollen in the midst of this. When that pops, it heals them. They can also synergize for heal. I just kept my team alive through quite a bit there. Pop the resto ult there. Leeching vines back up. Armor's back up. There's a drain. There's a root, but he roll dodged. Again, there's a lot of buff cycling. So, like, in between, I'm doing a lot of buff cycling. We have a couple that last only 6 or 10 seconds. But you want to keep your evasion buffs up, obviously, to proc Tavas. And you want to get in people's faces and proc Tavas. Get them to try to open on you. Get them to waste their shit on you. Like, that guy just opened, and I popped the resto ult. I'm good to go. I think I popped that, or I don't know, maybe someone else popped that tree ult. Another resto ult's already up here. I popped it. I'm just running right through. I'm trying to get the buff, but I'm not going to be able to get it. My team's probably going to maybe die to that. I immediately go for the Sork to try to lock him up because he's just going to do like 10k curses and frags. I don't know why that buff's even in the game. So I resto ult. I'm going to try to counterplay that. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to counterplay this Sork because I know he can just smoke my whole team right now if he's left untouched. So I'm just staying in his face. That's not him. There he is. No, did we kill him already? I think he streaked away. They may still be on him to the right. I, for some reason, have decided to go with this guy now. New ult's up. I'll probably resto here. Yeah, see, I'm just stopping and draining. Every time you see stunned, I'm just vamp draining. There's a resto ult. In between, I'm casting buffs, and I'm just block casting, so you don't see a lot of my animations, but I am doing it. I even block cast the drain. You don't even see it. It just says stunned. I only hold it down sometimes to build the ult. The vamp drain actually won't build ult unless you just let it run. It has to channel. It has to channel for at least like 0.5 seconds to get the first tick. But sometimes, if there's 3 people, I might block cast, and then hold the drain on the third. But I'll run through and stun them all sometimes. It really depends if you want to waste your CC. There was 2 tree ults, like really quick right there, or 2 ults, and the tree one following up, and another tree ult's already here. If you have your buffs up and you get stuff proccing, it's going to work. There's a resto ult. Just that quick, like survive through a lot of pressure that way. And again, you see I don't have to heal so much with my front bar heal, but I do at times. And I also just throw those mushrooms whenever my team is grouped up and they're like piled on someone. I'll use my primary heal across people just to give them that minor regen. Some people have builds where that doesn't matter. Some people have builds where that does matter a lot. It helps me out too. Like I need it on myself. 10% stamina Magicka, that matters to me a lot. But it's also a heal too, right? So everything's packed in with a little bonus. This guy's killing stuff, and I'm just keeping him alive through anything here. Like he's just getting ults, and he's doing whatever he wants right now. People are throwing damage. They're bursting him. There's another tree ult. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna keep him alive through everything here. I'm starting to run low. See what I did there? Right there. I'm running low on Magicka. I can't keep healing him. I just stunned both of those guys, and I rooted as a means to create an opening there. If I had only just healed, he would have died straight up because he wasn't stunning those guys, and he wasn't creating line of sight. So it's an example of using the stun to pull people off your target to create a window to try to heal them. And there we go. I dropped the tree ult. So he's healing up now. So yeah, it's a little different than your old sturdy build, hold block, breath. Like it's. I'm trying to be a dick. It's just like you have to play this a bit different. You don't. At least if you want to. This build in particular, you gotta play like this. But it's very effective at what it's doing, and it's taking advantage of ults that are very strong. They help you survive the burst too. Having a supplementary role like this is very. Look at this guy. He could defend himself. Like I think he expected to die about 4 seconds before that, and he was just standing there, you know, holding block. And I was just healing him through a lot of damage. Oh, that guy got negated, so I pop a resto ult. I think I'm keeping him alive. It's very tough to see in this area, but underneath here, this is really good. I can root here. I can cast pollen. I can do all the stuff under here, and that's what's going on. I'm just going back and forth. I can build ults like crazy. I just did another resto there. Blood spawn procced. I'm already up. The ult gen just, again, you can watch some of these videos. You can watch some of the past broadcasts. To kind of see what's going on, but this is the general gist of what I'm doing. You'll see in some of the fights that people go on me a lot harder than this, and I can survive for a little while. It's really about running around line of sight, rooting them off you, stunning them off you, buying enough time for your ult to tick over to get an ult off to then recover your stats. And yeah, it's pretty much it. You can just kind of go through a match just doing this stuff. Not really die. Live forever. But anyway, I think that kind of covers everything with it. I kind of wanted to give an explanation of the combat because it's really different. It's different than some of the other builds or classes and how they function. So I can kind of look over chat, see if there's any questions here. Okay, these are not relevant ones so far. Town route is similar. It's very low range. Yeah, I know it's not big. I think this Warden route used to be bigger actually than it is. But I don't know. Chance on the weapon. I didn't really put anything on there. Honestly, like I don't have a lot of time to proc them a lot. What I wanted to originally do is just put like a damage one on the resto to kind of pitch in damage now and then. The unblockable enchant you could put on, but I just put a poison on the back on the resto bar, so whenever I pop that out, I can try to poison something. I don't really gun to do it. You see, a lot of times I don't have time to do that. And then on the front, I don't know. I really don't know what you can do whatever you want. Some kind of damage. You can do weapon power if you want to amp your healing a little, but I don't think that's really relevant. You could just do, you know, damages and gives back Magicka or stamina, something like that. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, though. Any questions, you can put them in the comments. Enjoy the build. It's fun. At the very least, it's fun. And, yeah, I hope some other people can appreciate the fun value in it. So, that's all for that one.